4:25 Eastern this Sunday. It's the Green Bay Packers in Denver against a Broncos team that's won 10 straight, but it's the Packers who are favored on the road. Chris Hassel, Logan Ryan, Pete Prisco. Pete, I know that you've seen the Packers as a Super Bowl team all season long. How do they prove it in this game?
Before they got Micah Parsons even.
It's true.
They have to go out and let Jordan Love throw it around like he's been doing it. I mean, and you look at this Denver defense, I get it. They're really good. They lead the league in sacks. They can get after the quarterback. You better protect the quarterback. But the best way to stay out of those kind of bad situations is to not allow them to happen. In other words, you get on the line of scrimmage on first down, you dictate to them. And that means Jordan Love. And I get it. They have good secondary people, too. Patrick Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year, hadn't played as well this year. He's been injured a little bit, hadn't been as good. You know he's probably going to match up on Christian Watson. That's your one-on-one. You don't think so?
Christian Watson doesn't warrant a one-on-one match.
But I bet he spends time on him. He does now. Maybe not old Christian Watson. The last couple of weeks, the last month, Christian Watson's been really good.
Yes. But when we played Green Bay all those years, Jalen Reed's been the number one guy in opponents, defensive coaches' minds.
Not anymore, I don't think, though. I think you might have been right the last couple of years, but right now I think it's Watson. And I think Love is leaning on Watson, so I think you've got to hit those big plays on early downs. If you go run Jacobs and you get in second and long, those Broncos defensive linemen are going to feast on you. And Vance Joseph will throw tons of different looks at you. He's one of the top guys in terms of blitz coming after you and the way he attacks you. And I don't know if they can hold up against them if they don't allow themselves to be the one that dictates to the defense.
Well, you got a guy who's playing a lot of big games, a guy who's watched a lot of big games, right? And here's the difference. You got to run, again, you got to run the ball. When you're going against a team that has one of the top sackers in terms of just the defensive front and getting tons of sacks, tons of pressure, a top defense, great cornerback play, the reigning defensive player of the year on the other side, you got to give the ball to Josh Jacobs.
But they're good against the run.
That is what but you got to stay patient with it. I love how Jordan Love's playing. They have opened him up, but he cannot turn the ball over. If he turns the ball over, if they try to throw the ball on first down and it's incomplete and it's 2nd and 10, right? And then now it's 3rd and long when they run the ball on 2nd down and it's 3rd and 8. That's when Benito's going to get off on you. You have to run the ball early, run it often, stay on time, stay on the sticks, as we like to say, right? Have 3rd and manageables. You cannot expect Jordan Love to put his cape on and say, let's go throw against one of historic pass rush every single play.
See, I disagree with you. I think if you allow them, look, and everybody in the league probably feels more like you do. You run the ball on first down, you get 3 yards, right? Let's just say you get 3. 3 points. I think they're giving up 3.7 per rush. So what do you have on 2nd down? You have 2nd and 6.
Right.
Is that a good down?
If you're running, you got 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. I want 3rd and 5 and less. That is what everybody.
I want 42 yards on a strike across the middle to set me up, and then
cool.
I'll run the ball.
Let's go have Christian Watson go beat Pat Surtain. Let's throw that to him 10 times down the field and see what's going to happen.
The big plays have started to come for the Packers.
For sure, it's all set on play action.
It hasn't been on
Josh Jacobs is he a really good back?
He's a grinder. He's a grinder.
He's a really good back.
He's a good back. He's a grinder, though. He's not ripping off 50-yard runs.
Absolutely not. You got to stay patient in these
games. I love him as a grinder, so I'm going to score, and then I'm going to grind with him in the second half.
What do you want the split to look like then, ideally, if you're a Packers fan?
The split doesn't matter the plays. It's when you run them. I think
you want to run early on.
Throw early on and run the win. Pound them. If you want to pound them in the fourth quarter, you make those pass rushes. You start beating on them in the fourth quarter. That's what I would do. That's how I would play it. Now, I know people differ because Leger differs, you differ. Right. I know a lot of guys in the league differ.
I will say this. I know times, like, I'll give you the Patriots game plan. When we played great pass rush defenses, they would empty it out and they would spread the ball around, right? Short throws, horizontal throws, jet sweeps. Because what do? You get the pass rush tired. And when those guys get tired because they're rushing for a second, then they got to turn. Then you run the ball. So I do understand that, but you can't come out with downfield shots. You cannot come testing them deep early.
It doesn't have to be.
You got to either run the ball or spread it out horizontally.
I'm talking about spreading it out, get the ball out of his hands. Yeah. Then you can take some shots off of that, and then you pound those guys. Yeah. That's my belief. It always has been my belief. If you have the quarterback who can do that, and he plays better when he plays that way.
Now you trust Jordan Love.
I do.
I do. I'm a big go in here.
Yes.
And not because you picked him preseason, you want to look good. I'm saying you truly trust him to go in there and handle that.
I trust Jordan Love.
Got to take care of the football, though.
I agree with you.
Because I really like the Packers' defense.
Yes. And he threw a bad interception last week, and I wanted to see how he responded to it, and he responded to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at both of these defenses, and you've got guys that just get after the quarterback. How rough could it be on these two quarterbacks if they are facing 3rd and longs?
It's going to be real rough because Micah Parsons doesn't play second downs. I mean, I see him on the sideline, and he comes in on third down. He comes in 2 minutes at the end of the game. You do not want to get behind the Packers early because of Micah Parsons. That's when he feasts, right? So you got to keep the game close. And this is going to be a great matchup because obviously we know who Sean Payton calling plays for Denver, but I love Jeff Hafley. I mean, I've been plugging Jeff Hafley, New York Giants head coach. Go hire him. He's a great coach, and that's the Packers DC. I really like him. I really like how they're playing. They have great scheme. They have great rush, and they've been playing well. But that all works when you're ahead. When you're behind, Micah Parsons got to go defend the run a little bit, right? So it's based on the Packers are built to play with a lead, in my opinion.
Which goes back to my theory on throwing it around on early downs. If you play with the lead, then you turn those pass rushers loose. But here's the thing about Denver. The offensive line is one of the better ones in the league. But there are places where Micah Parsons get attacked. And we've seen him attack the center in some situations.
Yep.
And I think that's where they'll attack him and put him over the center and let him attack from there. And if you're going to rush from the outside, don't go against Bowles on the left side. Go to McGlinchey on the right side. McGlinchey's a good run player, but he struggles at times in pass protection. So there's ways to attack them. I'm with you. I think Hafley's going to be a head coach. I think he's done a great job. And here's the other thing about this defense. The secondary, everybody questioned their secondary going into the season. Everybody. And when I was there, every guy there said, coaches included, said, we're not worried about our secondary. They like McKinney as safety. Evan Williams has been a really good safety. Yep. And then you go to the corners. All those guys have played above expectations, particularly recently. Nixon's played really well. Nixon saved the game the other day. That was not his man. He came off his guy. He was supposed to have more on the crosser, and he came off of him and made the play.
Great vision.
Those guys are starting to play better in the secondary, and I think, to your point, the pass rush has made them better on the back.
Yeah, it's got to marry, right? The pass rush and the rush and coverage. That's what you talk about in the defensive meeting rooms. Yes, you need to get pressure, but you need guys to cover. You knocked Surtain a little bit this year. The Packers would love to have Surtain at half his value.
Everybody would.
Yeah, he's still the best corner in the field. And the Packers don't have elite cornerback play, so they can't just match up and play man-to-man in critical situations like Denver might be able to get away doing. And you need to be able to do that to win big games. You need to be able to do that to win playoff games. There's got to be downs and distances where you can match up and take a guy away so you can bring the blitz, do what you got to do. If you look at the past Super Bowl winners, the Chiefs, able to do that for a long time. The Eagles were able to do that. The Patriots always had secondaries that can match up critical situations. The Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Boom, the Denver Broncos, right? All the recent Super Bowl winners over the last decade plus had corners or the ability to play tight man-to-man when needed. The Packers don't necessarily have that. They're trying to do it a different way. It's why it's important they play with the lead.
I have a feeling you like the Green Bay Packers in this game to snap this winning streak.
Homer.
I do. I think they're going to go in there, and I think they're feeling themselves a little bit. I said all year, at least halfway through the season, like you remember, you've heard me, we haven't seen the best of the Green Bay Packers. We're starting to see it. We're starting to see it on offense, and I'm a big believer in Hafley like you are. I think defensively, he can scheme up a lot of different things. Now, having said that, the Broncos have a good defensive coordinator too. Vance Joseph is really good at getting creative with what he does. But I think Green Bay goes in there and they throw it around more than he thinks, and they win that football game.
Yeah, I like Green Bay because they're hot right now. I think they're really believing. I think they got hot post Thanksgiving there, and they got a good run. I think it's a huge litmus test for the Broncos. They've been legit. They've been solid all year. I talked about the importance of consistency, but they're playing probably one of the hottest teams in the league with the Packers right now. And that talent that the Packers have, I do think the Packers get it done.
We haven't even talked about Bo Nix. We didn't even mention Bo Nix. Here's the thing about Bo Nix. He can get hot in the fourth quarter. We've seen that. He's won some games like that. Bo Nix completed over 30 passes last week for barely over 200 yards. They don't get chunk plays down the field. He passes on them, and he takes checkdowns, and he gets out of clean pockets. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes those shots down the field.
9-2 in one-score games, though, playing that way.
And they've kind of been playing the opposite of the other team that's on a 10-game winning streak. The Patriots have never trailed in the fourth quarter of those 10 straight wins. Seems like the Broncos are always having to come from behind to win those games. We'll see what happens at 4:25 Eastern on CBS as the Broncos host the Packers.